Time for another edition of Swish and the Wiz. Over to you, Kenny White.
Hey, thank you, Jeremy. And looking for a great weekend. We're trying to get the Swish out of his shell because, he's so quiet and, he's just laid back and everything. Hey, man, it's another great weekend of baseball, Swish. But the Phillies on fire. And a guy Rob Thompson, I think he was the third base coach for the Yankees. Great guy, yes, and put in a good situation.
Absolutely great, right? Anytime you have to take over after a manager leaves or a head coach, anytime you have that term interim next to your name, you always want to make sure that you bring your A game. So to see what Rob Thompson has been able to do so far, I could not be more proud of him. Got to see him a couple weeks ago, talk to him a little bit, but his demeanor is so cool. It's calm, it's collected. He can make his players feel calm, and I think that's exactly what's happening right now. Obviously, Bryce Harper doing his thing. The entire offense absolutely banging right now. Good to see a lot of great stuff happening over in Philly right now.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about, we want to find pitchers we can back during the season, and I got 5 guys that are pitching great baseball right now. 2 of them are kind of surprising names, but we have one Philly on that list, and that's Zach Wheeler. Wheeler's having a tremendous year. Garrett Cole, another guy, Sandy Alcantara. Nick Pivetta has been lights out. He was lights out again last night. And Tarek Skubal from Detroit. These guys are all pitching great. One thing they have in common, they all strike out more than 10 per 9 innings. Great rotation. Anything that you can, these 5 guys, what do you like these guys?
I like them all. Listen, man, I'm new to this whole gambling side of things. But I'm just like you, bro. I am trolling trending pitchers, bro. I'm telling you, I'm betting the first 5 on these guys. I'm taking everybody out of the bullpen, out of the equation. These guys right there have had tremendous starts to their season. Strikeouts, like you said, over 10 per 9, which is absolutely electric. And most of these guys, swing and miss guys, can give you that opportunity to go deep in games. But it's also great to see Zach Wheeler having a tremendous season. Skubal's doing tremendous. Obviously, Garrett Cole's got the contract, so you expect that out of him. But like you're saying, Sandy Alcantara, how amazing has he been for the Miami Marlins? Boy, the Marlins better do something fantastic with the pitchers that they have right now. If not, they're going to have to pay these dudes at some point, and I don't think they're going to have the money to hold on to them.
I love me some Jazz Chisholm too. That guy can hit. How about the Braves? 8 in a row now. They swept Colorado, 4-game series. Come home. They're starting to play their best baseball. They got a great rotation. Look at this rotation: Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Kyle Wright, Ian Anderson, and they're going to get Soroka back at one time. Are the Braves the World Series champs? Are they going to be in it neck and neck with the Mets right down to the finish?
You know what? I was able to see, Skip. I was able to see Snicker about 3 weeks ago. And that was when they were kind of going through a little bit of problems. They hadn't been winning. Acuna wasn't back in the lineup at that moment. But he was like, this is not uncharted waters for us. We know exactly how we're doing. And to be able to see the turnaround in the Braves is absolutely amazing. Listen, Olsen is doing his thing. He's absolutely crushing. Listen, they got the Rockies. They had 2 against the A's. Right now they're playing the Pirates. Then they got the Nationals. Then they got the Cubs. Although they may not be playing the most tremendous teams in our league, it doesn't matter. It's all about racking up the W's. A W is a W. It doesn't matter who it's coming to. Right now is a humongous time for the Atlanta Braves to pick up wins, and that's exactly what they're doing, Wiz. As long as they continue to keep getting the same output from their offense that they have been, Ronald Acuna has been absolutely electric. He's got the icy thing going, bro. He popped his chain off the other night. I mean, this kid is absolutely doing it. So to be able to get that coming out of your leadoff spot, absolutely electric. Olsen has been fantastic, and the rest of the offense is picking it up too.
We got a big series this weekend, Seattle and Boston. It's in Seattle, and I say it's a big series because both these teams right now, the Red Sox 11 and a half games out of first, Seattle's 10 games out of first. Red Sox might have a little bit more tougher way to get back, but this is a really big series for these 2 teams. My top 5 hitting teams right now, Red Sox number 1 in baseball, Houston right now number 2, the Dodgers number 3, Minnesota 4, and the Yankees 5. That's since May 1st. That's May 1st. Overall, the Yankees still number 1, the Dodgers number 2. But the Red Sox over the last 40 days have had the best offense in baseball. What do you think? Better chance to make the playoffs, Red Sox or Mariners?
I'm going Red Sox, hands down, right? And the only reason why I'm saying this, because you got the 3-headed monster in Boston. You got JD Martinez, you got Xander Bogaerts, and you could have the MVP winner in Rafael Devers. What has been nice to be seen in Boston is all of a sudden Trevor Story showed up. Let's go. He's absolutely mashing right now. Listen, they are first in the AL in runs scored, first in average, third in OPS, and what's even better for them going right now is that their rotation is fifth in the ERA right now. Their starters are fourth with a 3.50, which is absolutely amazing. So anytime you get great pitching with that awesome offense that, literally has come to life, teams better beware because the Boston Red Sox can get on a run and they can rattle off wins by the dozens. So at the end of the day, listen, Cora knows his guys. He knows how to deal with the pressures that lie in Boston. And listen, at the end of the day, listen, there he is right there. Rafael Devers, fourth, plus 1,400 on your odds to win the MVP. I mean, Rafael Devers continues to keep doing what he's doing right now. It's hard for me to say that the Boston Red Sox will not be competing for that wild card spot in the AL for sure.
Yeah, I love Devers. The Seattle Mariners, it's been such a long time since they've made the playoffs. Right now, they are plus 380 to make the playoffs, but Sportsline, a 38% chance to make the playoffs. That means they're saying they should only be plus 163, rounding out the odds. They're saying it's a great bet for Seattle, but I'm a little scared. The offense right now, number 3 overall in baseball. Their offense has been great, but their pitching staff really worries me. And I've got a couple pitchers, my bottom 5 right now that I'm trolling to bet against. And we've got a couple of Mariners on there. Marco Gonzalez, less than 5 strikeouts per 9 innings. Chris Flexen, another guy that he really worries me. The one guy on that list that's surprising, Madison Bumgarner. I love the Mad Bum, but he has been pitching to too much contact. He doesn't have the same command he once used to have. He's still a crafty lefty, but he's a finesse lefty at this point of his career. This is a list you got to be aware of. Swish, got to go against these 5 guys the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. And Wiz, you can tell me this, but at the beginning of the season, I was on the Seattle Mariners, I'm sure just like you were. I mean, they were a very sexy pick early. I mean, you would agree with that.
Oh, no doubt about it. They were. A lot of young guys in that lineup, a lot of young guns, and the rotation looked like it was going to be a lot better than it has been so far. But, pitching is everything in baseball. So that Seattle rotation right now really worries me. I don't think they have a 60% chance to make the playoffs. I think it's more probably 50-50.
Yeah, I think it's a little more than 60% as well, no doubt. I mean, listen, if you don't have pitching, you don't stand a chance to get into the playoffs. And listen, Seattle has made a little resurrection, felt like they were coming back, made a few moves, picked up Robbie Ray, the whole 9. Hasn't panned out the way that they thought it would. But listen, man, to be able to see what, guys like J.P. Crawford is doing, Ty France is doing, I mean, let's give those guys a little bit of love. They've been playing great baseball, just not enough to take over teams like the Houston Astros, as well as the dip of the Anaheim Angels. I still think the Angels have a lot left in the tank. They're going to get over that. Thank God they won last night. Thank you, Ohtani, for shutting down that losing streak because we needed that. But at the end of the day, Seattle Mariners, not a playoff team in my book.
And the biggest series this weekend might be the biggest rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries in baseball, obviously. The Giants and Dodgers, they go head-to-head, lock horns. Walker Buehler has not been right, and I think it's mainly because he's not throwing the fastball enough. I mean, they keep running him out there, but he's been an average major league pitcher so far this year, which is surprising. Jake Junis goes tonight for San Francisco, and he's been rejuvenized by being in San Francisco away from Kansas City. He's pitching the best baseball of his career right now. Dodgers, 6.5 game lead. My model has the Dodgers winning the division by 10. What do you like anybody in tonight's game? What's up with Walker Buehler? You seen anything there with him?
Yeah, listen, I've always been a Walker Buehler fan, but you're right. I mean, the fastball location, the velocity's still up there, but needs to have a little more usage in that. The thing that I've noticed about the San Francisco Giants, it's kind of like, last year to this year. Listen, you got Jacob Junis, his thing. Brenton Webb, absolutely, was great. He's 5-2 with a 3.77. But where the rest of the the rotation is struggling a little bit. Alex Wood was absolutely electric last year. I think he was 10-4 with a 3.8. This year, 3-5 with a 4.23. Right? Alex Cobb's on the IL right now. Desclafani's on the 60. So at the end of the day, they're used to being able to fall back on guys that aren't available right now. And listen, I'm not sure, if anything with, the national anthem had anything to do with what's happening with the San Francisco Giants as of late. But if you let the Los Angeles Dodgers, like your jersey, you let them get out too far in front, bro, they're just going to blow away with this division. Don't let them get too far in front. Like you said, this is an absolutely huge series right now. I know we're only a third of the way into the season, but listen, if you let the Dodgers jump out 4, 5, 6, 7 games in front, you might as well just wave that division goodbye, and you're going to be playing for the wild card.
Hey, I'm wearing the jersey for Kershaw. He'll be back tomorrow. This is my number 22 jersey. Big Clayton Kershaw fan. I got a baseball question for you. I read this last year. San Francisco, they take a different type of BP than normally. They don't have a 70-year-old guy up there, throwing 45, 50 mile an hour, softball pitches to hitters. They got guys on the mound right now throwing the same type of pitches the pitcher they're going to face that night in BP. Have you heard that? What do you think of that? Are more teams going to adapt to that?
Yes, I definitely think a lot of new teams have. Instead of doing just the feel-good batting practice like we're used to seeing in the past, at least what we've done, at least in our minor league system, is we're starting to use a lot more machines. We're trying to replicate what you're going to see in the game. Matter of fact, yesterday I jumped in on the high velocity machine at 95 miles an hour. Still can't feel my thumb today. But at the end of the day, being able to see that over and over and over again, which 94, 95 miles an hour is the average fastball in the big leagues now. Now, the more you see that and you can replicate game movements, I'm all for that sort of stuff. I like speeding the game up. It was almost like what Edgar Martinez did back in the day, shooting those tennis balls out at like 120 miles an hour, trying to be able to read the numbers off of them. He might have been lying because it seems like it's a little impossible to do. But at the end of the day, the more you can replicate that game speed, I think the better it is. And nobody is saying anything about the success the San Francisco Giants had last year, as well as the success they're having this year. Just thinking if they don't have that starting pitching that they had last year, I'm not sure they have the offense to be able to back up the loss of pitching. Listen, one of the oldest teams in the league, you got Longoria, you got Belt. I mean, all these guys are kind of in their mid to late 30s. So at the end of the day, if you don't have that pitching that you're used to having day in and day out, I think being able to win that division is going to be extremely hard.
Swish, I could talk baseball with you all day. We don't have enough sponsors, though, to extend the show any longer. So hey, until next week, I still have questions. I want to talk to you about being a switch hitter when you started about that. But for now, hey, 13-year Major League champion, Nick Swisher. I appreciate it. Can't wait till next week.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.